Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Good evening, everyone. And I was going to write a joke for April Fool's Day to welcome us in, but I didn't. So now, obviously, for it to be April Fool's, I should have then had a joke prepared.
Yep, go on then. What is it?
But I don't. So
you got me
does
twice.
That count as sort of a meta April Fool's?
You got me twice. I can't believe it. I only just started the show and twice I've fallen for nothing.
I don't really like April Fools because the people in my family, specifically my wife, does not like surprises. She gets pissed off anytime you go, oh, look at this. And she goes, what? And then she just, so it scarred me. It scarred me. She doesn't enjoy it. So welcome to the April Fool's special show. And by special, I mean we'll do exactly what we do every time, which is make you laugh. April Fools. This is the show where Steve and I will look at the world's problems and solve them all. And we're very glad to have you join us. Whilst you're joining us tonight, we are exclusively only on the YouTube channel. So if you're not watching us on YouTube right now, you're not watching us because it isn't going anywhere else. Or if it is, you need to tell us because someone is stealing our stream. And that's not good. That's a bad thing.
But
the nice thing is, they can have our stream. We're nice people. We'll be checking in on the chat on the YouTube channel, so it's very nice to have you there. And if you're buckling in and you're enjoying it, feel free at this point to give the show a like at any point. If you don't feel like you can commit to that now, it's a big ask to like. You can always like us later, or you can like us now and unlike us throughout the show.
That's true.
Something you could do too. We can always block it, I think, afterwards. And you can share. You can say, this is what I'm watching by sending that out to other people. And at any other point in the show, if you think, not only do I like these guys, I want to give them money. This is where the real joke comes in. There'll be our Ko-fi link, which pops up every now and then because we are still ridiculously underemployed stand-up comics. Into the fact that we're still sitting down after a year. And it hurts to sit down, let me tell you, after the last year. So that's it.
What's happened to you through the last year that means it hurts to sit down?
Well, like we've been fucked is what I was trying to imply, but you made me go out there and say it, Steve.
I was just thinking if that's what your doctor's done to you, he's not a real doctor. And that porter cabin is not an official office. Yeah.
He had a mask. Anyway, so that's it. That's the skivvy, and enjoy the show. And I believe Mr. Allen is going to present us with the first problem.
I can jump in and take a problem for you. Yeah, let's talk April Fool's Day. Yeah, April Fools.
Hey.
Look, it's one of those days where I agree. I don't really like it because it seems to be the lowest form of humour. But also, like, if you're going to pull a prank on someone, cling film on the toilet, tying shoelaces together, whatever. But what I really hate are when newspapers do it. You're a trusted news source. We can't have one day when it's like, actually, fake news. We've got enough fake news on Facebook without actually having real fake news being fake news. It blows my mind. So, look, I've been trying to go through some of the news stories today that are obviously April Fool's things. Piers Morgan did one where he tweeted saying that he would be going back onto ITV's GMB. And I think the rule about a good joke is that it can't be terrifying. It's not funny if it's going to upset that many people, Piers. Come on. Then there was this one, and this is interesting. Ant and Dec, who famously always stand, so it's Ant and Dec, they go left to right, said that they were, for the next series of Saturday Night Takeaway, calling themselves Dec and Ant and standing the other way around. Interesting. And I thought, okay, it's something that we could play with because I'm always on this side of the screen, you're always on that side of the screen. And I thought, you know what, for April Fools, we could have done a thing where... Oh
my God. That looks...
What are you doing over there?
Feels good, actually.
Feels wrong is what it feels, Eric. This is terrible. I'll tell you why this is terrible. I'll tell you why, right? We bring up the graphics. Well, that's wrong for a start. And I'll tell you what else is wrong. You bring up the web address. Well, that makes no bloody sense. So I'm afraid we can't go that way around. Can't go that way around at all. That is. Oh.
Wow. I feel like what was that show? Quantum Leap. I feel like that was you for a few minutes.
Oh, wrong one. Oh boy. I mean, this is what the money's for. This is what your Ko-fi's going on. These special effects. Look at this. Woo. Where's he going? Are you going over there? Yeah. So earlier on, we did get a message from Brit who said, "Let the silliness begin." I thought, "What do you mean silly?" Then I realised we actually sit here just going like, "Oh, how you doing?" Yeah. Fair enough. All right, good point. Well made. So they were the news stories. There were some other news stories where I thought, okay, let's wait to the big reveal. Let's see if it's an April Fool. Like when we heard the news that institutional racism doesn't exist, according to a government report. And we all waited and thought, come on, wait for the next headline on The Independent that says, institutional racism does exist, lols. Government prank commission suggests. That's headline never really happened. It's been an interesting fallout from this report that said, institutional racism doesn't exist, but even the report said that racism exists, and people somehow didn't pay enough attention to that. That is clearly going, look, there's work to be done, and other people going, we've done this bit of work, let's stop working. No. Even Boris Johnson had to make a statement. Boris Johnson says that more needs to be done to fix the very serious issues of racism in the UK, and I think doing half blackface didn't help. I can see what he was trying to do, be inclusive, I guess, but no, Boris, no. But it's interesting because institutional racism, it's the institutional word that then means you can go off and have a semantic argument about whether that's true or not, and whilst ignoring whether racism is a problem. It was reported in other news outlets as being systemic racism, so again, the semantic argument continues forever. And instead of just saying, look, some people are definitely racist, we need to try and deal with that as an issue. People get bogged down by the words that they choose. But then there's a lot of this around about picking your words and how the words that you choose betray your inner feelings, even if you don't know what your inner feelings are. And so for ages, especially those of us who've worked at the BBC, unconscious bias training was a thing that we had to do. But the same report said that unconscious bias training must end. It does not work and it must end. Interesting stuff. Because, look, unconscious bias, from the psychology point of view, is definitely a thing. But when you let the sociologists get a hold of it, I'm not sure they use it right. Like imagine that physics and chemistry are proper science, and then as you get further away from that, you go through psychology and further on sociology, and I think that's the problem. That you're getting further away from real sciences. And by the time you let some mid-manager at the BBC get involved in stuff, you're just talking bullshit. But talking less bullshit than the way it's reported in, I think this is in the Times, that said sponsorship is better than unconscious bias training. Right, so I'm just going to do the London Marathon and see if that changes my attitude. What? Give me £10 a mile and all of a sudden I might be less racist. I suppose you will get to see who wins the marathon and it'll give you a perspective of greater respect of their abilities. But unconscious bias training, it's time to find out more. And to do that, I'm joined by an expert in unconscious bias training. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
So I like unconscious bias training.
No, you don't know. I think you'll find, because of your privilege, you actually don't like unconscious bias training.
But I thought I liked it.
No, but you're not aware of it, and that indeed is the problem.
So what do I do to minimise my unconscious bias?
Well, the problem is, because you're not aware of it, you can't actually minimise the bias you have.
Well, what do you do?
What do? I simply minimise my unconscious bias by minimising how much I'm unconscious. Yes, I'm going to wait for days.
Do you know what? That's probably the most sensible thing we'll hear in that subject, so sod it. Why not? We'll leave it there. We are up to date with what's been happening with that race report.
Yeah, I think I consciously enjoyed that.
But unconsciously, were you biased against it?
So I thought, shit.
Well, actually, as a genuine point, what I find fascinating is that everyone's been talking about the unconscious bias. The report has highlighted the problem of confirmation bias. Everyone who thinks that race shouldn't be spoken about has used that report to go, well, problem solved. They've only read the bits that suit their narrative. Everyone who thinks it's the biggest problem in the world then reads it and goes, look, it's a massive problem. Confirmation bias is the biggest problem, even though unconscious bias is the one that's spoken about, because no one likes to admit that they've got confirmation bias because it proves themselves wrong. They're unconsciously biased against confirmation bias. I quit. I can't cope with this anymore. I need a Venn diagram.
You would say that consciously, but unconsciously, even you don't believe yourself.
No, but I believe myself more than I believe sociologists.
If they had revealed that report on the 1st of April, it would have made a lot more sense.
Interesting times.
They couldn't even get the timing right. So there we go.
Let's go through some of the messages.
Yeah, let's have a look and see how people are doing on the old channel now that that's exclusively all in one place.
It does make it so much easier to read the messages, doesn't it? They're all right there. this is so
They
nice.
are right there. Chris has said evening all, and so has Chris. Both Chris's have said evening all.
The Chrissies.
Good.
That's the
Covered,
plural.
covered by the Chrissies.
And then Brit says you can't do April Fool. Can't do April. Well, she's written April Tools jokes after 12. Not sure what that is, but if you'd have given me warning, we could have got the graphic for it. In fact, if you'd given Eric warning, he probably would have had a video of an actual person's peen, because he's the person who's brought at least 2 willies to the show.
At least. Yeah. Right now.
God, what? Where have you put your comment cam?
I'm waiting to switch it on. Let's see. Mark says it's before 12 o'clock in the Mid-Atlantic. Does that count?
That's true. So we could still do jokes over there. Seems legit, says Chris. Probably looking at the maths. What else we got going on? Britt says, I was brought up that you can't do April Fool's jokes or pinch and punch for the first of the month after 12 noon. Good, because I'm so jobless, I sleep until well after that. I was protected today.
Is pinch and punch a thing for April Fools?
Oh, first of every month. 12 times you're meant to pinch and punch someone. Ridiculous. How is it that in this era, when we are so aware of issues of abuse, there are 12 days when you can pinch and punch someone?
Is that all?
We need a. Well, there
I
are
got
12
kids.
months. We need a hashtag.
Yeah, my wife. That's why my wife always says it's the first today, every day.
Oh right, she physically abuses you once every month. That might be a different issue.
Once every day.
Oh.
She says it's the first again.
Oh.
Every day.
Dear.
It's the first. And I always thought it was like, oh, it's like the first day of my life, and then she punches me.
Oh dear. If you've been affected by any of the issues in this middle bit between sections, there'll be a phone number at the end. It won't help you. It'll be one of our phone numbers, but probably want a good laugh.
Call us. That's right. We make money off that as well. Colonel Sanders method, I think, is what you got going on there, Steve.
I didn't.
Nice.
I've not unpacked my fake glasses yet, so I can't do characters with glasses on.
No.
Hard times. Hard times.
Behind the scenes.
Chris says crystals. That's probably more real science. Crystals obviously being it's more real science than sociology, but is also the plural of Chris's. That's what we should have gone with.
Very good. And Mark says, don't forget the punch and the kick for being too quick.
Nice. Jack says that filter makes you both look 150 and 5 years old. What? There's no filter on me and Eric right now. Do you mean? Hang on.
So does this one make us look 150? No. Freaky.
Special effects, mate.
I look crisper on that side.
It's the same. It literally is the same image. I did 2 versions of it and passed it over. Bless. And Shobu says, groundhog. Yeah, Groundhog Day. Every day, Eric gets pinched. Also, welcome for. We did Let's Kill Twitter together, which I believe is still available on the internet. So there should be people after this can go and watch that. And what else have we got going on? Also, 12 days you can abuse them back with a punch and a kick for being so quick. That is true. Escalate it. They punch, you kick.
It's so complicated.
I think it's once a month. There's self-defense involved. It's hard work. This. Listen, you are watching on the main YouTube. You can like the video if you're enjoying it and chuck some money in the pot if you'd like to contribute to this project. But meanwhile, to problem number 2, we go to Mr. Eric McElroy. Hello.
Yes, I'm going to just make sure I say that there. Problem number 2. Steve, this is going to become a running segment on the show now because we've got this happening until May, and this is, again, the problem of becoming London mayor. So a lot of people are throwing their hat in the ring. On Tuesday, we talked about Brian Rose, and he's running from strength. The strength of his kickboxing. It's very strange to have a look at that. And now we've got this guy running.
Well, I am going to stand to be mayor.
Now, those of us in the UK know who he is because he doesn't even say his name in his entire introductory video. That's how much of a stuck-up twat he is. And he basically, his name is Laurence Fox. And Now, I wasn't aware of the Fox until recently, when he became famous because he started going on things like Question Time and just basically saying things that was, this race commission, oh my God, like, Daddy says that there's never been any racism, and I believe him because we've got maids. Was kind of the general attitude and vibe that I got from Laurence in all of his appearances. I did want to ask you, Steve, because that's what he means to me. Before, I mean, and I've seen his singing, which I wouldn't even subject our viewers to. I was going to put a clip in it, and I watched it back again, and I was like, oh my God, no. Is that it? I mean, is there any other reason why he's on our televisions?
Sweet mercy, yeah. The thing he's most famous for.
Yeah.
He was once married to Billie Piper.
Ah, there you go.
Do you not know that? I mean, it was also in Endeavour, but no one watches that. I think it's repeated on ITV4. But he was married to Billie Piper after Chris Evans. I don't care which way. But isn't it weird that the two people who've both been married to Billie Piper, Chris Evans and Laurence Fox, and if you're in another group with Chris Evans and you're considered to be the biggest bellend, you've done something wrong.
I mean, he's just all right. Let's go through his campaign. Here's his website. This is from his homepage. A couple of different things going on here. Free London. He's got a statue of Churchill muzzled. We're going to talk about that in a second. He's got sort of this Fox X thing going on, which I know it's like tick the box to vote for him, but also the style of both the writing and the X. It reminded me of this next thing we've got here. It looks kind of sort of like the vibe, a little V from Vendetta, which essentially where V is the Antichrist. Which when I do think about Laurence Fox, I can see the correlation there. I like what he's done with that. And the whole thing about muzzling Churchill in that, it's this whole claim that he's had for a while now that he's got no vehicle for free speech, right? And we know that he's been upset about not having any free speech because he's on every goddamn television show telling us that he doesn't have any free speech. And you know what? I don't even mind him muzzling the Churchill statue. I know that's been kind of controversial. You know what? He can muzzle the statue as long as he doesn't muzzle this right here. Don't mess with that Churchill. Because I might not know about this pinch and a punch, but I know about that Churchill. And that Churchill is beloved. He's a British institution. You stay away from him.
I can't believe you've not got a clip of him going, oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, oh, yes.
That would have taken too much effort. But I did a nice job with the editing of the thing. That's from the website, cut out and put on.
Nice.
So, great. I bring a nice photoshopped image, and you go, why didn't you do it anyhow? Why don't you just pinch and punch me?
And that's all it would have been, though.
I can't do the accent. All right. So, all right, Laurence, you're running for mayor. You've done an introductory video. Let's see what you've got to say here. Let's really get into it.
Right, here we go.
God. Right, here we go. I'm doing another thing to get more attention because casting directors don't want me anymore, and my music is shit. So you can start with a little bit more confidence. He can't even try. He's got to do better than that. Let's see what else he's got.
It's been a strange 12 months in which we've given up so many of our personal freedoms.
It is a strange couple of months because Laurence is walking like this. I mean, what is going on with that walk that he's got there? That's strange. And then I realized I'd seen that same thing before here.
It's been a strange 12 months in which we've given up so many of our personal freedoms.
That's why he's walking like that. He's on stilts.
It explains why he's got the scarf on. He's so high up, it's cold.
It's cold up there. Okay. He's walking around. Let's just see, Laurence, if there's anything that we can agree on.
Now, look, whether you agree or disagree with how things have been handled, the one thing that we can agree on is that we find ourselves here, now, today.
Today, we find ourselves walking around like we're on stilts in an empty pub with some sort of weird, fucked up drums beating in the background. That's what we're going for, Laurence. That's what your campaign is based on? Okay. And you said today. Are you sure it's today, Laurence? Can you clarify that for me?
Today, not tomorrow and not yesterday, thank God. Today.
Yes, today. That's right. Because it can't be yesterday or tomorrow. We can only be in today. That's the only thing that's possible, no matter how high stilts are. Where do I find myself today? Listening to this shit. Right. Now let's take a look here, Steve, at the role of what the mayor does, right? This is the role that he's campaigning to have. I've got this up on the screen, right? So the mayor has a duty to set out plans and policy covering transport, planning and development, housing, economic development, and regeneration. So that's basically all the mayor does, really, is travel. He has a little bit of influence with the police, but not even that much. Like, when they had the problems with the vigil a few weeks ago, that wasn't the mayor. Nothing is. He's basically the tube and a figurehead because the Tories set the role up to have no power. That's all he can do, right? So what does Laurence want to do as mayor?
Well, I want to reclaim your freedom, and I want to reclaim your freedom to move. And importantly, I want to reclaim your freedom to speak.
There's a lot going on there. I don't think any of them. I mean, the moving might be something like maybe you can get the tubes moving again.
Oh, just your freedom to move like that when you walk.
Yeah, exactly. To walk like stilts. It's his version of walk like an Egyptian. That reclaiming that he keeps talking about, reclaiming freedoms, reclaiming movement, reclaiming all these things. I think, where have I heard that reclaiming before? And then I remembered this.
Have you been missold goods or services costing in excess of £2,000 in the last 6 years that have not lived up to what you were promised? If so, you could be entitled
To reclaim
the full cost of those goods or services.
That's where I knew Laurence from. I remember those guys used to call me all the time. I'm like, I know you. But at the end of it all, Laurence asks the real question.
So what are you going to do?
Well, I'm not going to vote for you, you privileged twat.
Well,
God.
up to date on his
we go.
work.
I think that bounces nicely with the racial report that was released. I'm sure he really is on board with that as well.
There were some of the pictures. I wish I'd remembered which ones they were. Let's have a little look. I mean, that one I was going to say... It doesn't matter if you gag a statue. Does he not know how statues work? They don't speak a lot.
I think Churchill has had his say. It feels like he's trying to tie himself to some things that really don't belong to him.
Yeah. And reclaim, look, I mean, it's another one of these political parties where they've got one of these words. Nigel Farage had reform after the Brexit party, after UKIP. Who's the other one? Who's Alex Salmond starting up a political party? Everyone's having their own political party. I've got to be honest, in 2021, political parties are podcasts where absolutely every arsehole's making one. We do as well. Nothing wrong. No, fair enough. I'm on like my 7th different podcast since my career started. I'm aware that it's just self-obsessed. What were some of the other clips as well? I know that was your joke.
Right, here we go.
He's just in a bar on his own, isn't he?
He's in an empty pub.
Yeah. I suppose he's social distancing. He's not going to like that. Yeah. He's not going to be happy with the fact that he's accidentally stuck to the rules. Dear me. And also, I disagree. The one thing we can all agree on is now. Have you never read the works of Einstein, you pillock? No, we can't agree on now, because we might be travelling at different speeds.
Maybe. Actually, can we go back to the Churchill picture with an actual Churchill, not the dog? It was the one before there. Before that, second one, I think. Maybe, I think Churchill's wearing a mask. Churchill's being COVID compliant.
Yeah.
That's where COVID comes from, the statues. All those people believing in freedoms licking Churchill.
Yeah. That's
what's spreading the disease.
Nothing wrong with that. Right, let's go through some of the comments coming through here. Shavu says, Laurence Fox, Egypt. I mean, you've done in 3 words there what we've just taken half an hour to do, but that's absolutely spot on. Eric, you make a very good point, where everyone who complains about freedom of speech is doing it on a national platform. Oh, you can't say anything these days. You're doing it now. I can see your mouth move. The only one who's not talking is the statue of Churchill.
You don't hear on this show? Us complaining about freedom of speech. You know what we don't have? A national platform.
Not anymore. All right. Cheers for that. BBC Two. Never mind. It was fun.
Yeah, but you never say in your own words.
Now, Mark and Chris both point out that Laurence Fox was in Lewis, not Endeavour. Damn it. But he was definitely in Billy Piper. I think that's what we can all agree on. Too much for Eric?
Maybe that's why they got divorced.
Yeah. Let's have a look at some more of the comments.
What
does
jinxing each other in the comments? I like that for getting the same thing.
And Brit says, what does the fox say? Wah, money, me. I like that. Still, I think he's good in Lewis, but his sister is better in Silent Witness. Very true. Is that Emily?
His brother's an actor as
Amelia? I
well,
can't
and
remember.
a
Emily
much
Fox.
busier CV. I noticed online today. Mark says, I'm totally against fox hunting. However,
And Mark says, the way he walks like that. When Brit says wobbly walk is due to his oversized nuts. Or Chris says, or he's crapped his pants. And that's the level of high debate that we do on this show when it comes to satire. Crapping pants is always funny. Doesn't matter what you discuss. At the end of it, if you can land on a crap your pants joke, everyone wins.
you would? Yeah. We need a crap your pants bell. We need a bell. I keep saying this.
We got this. Whoop-ah.
Yep.
That's the special effects you're paying for. Whoop-ah.
Victoria has said message retracted. So we'll never know.
Right.
Love a message retracted.
keep sharing it, enjoying the YouTube stuff, spread the link
Yes.
and click like and all that luck.
Oh, let me give a big shout out to Tracy, who's gone to a very generous level of donation. Thanks for Tuesday and Thursday, and it's a very nice one.
Oh, thank
Special
you very
mention,
much.
Tracy. But also thank you to Chris and someone named Kofi Supporter.
Oh, thank you. Is that because of the special effects?
It must be. I think it's Mr. Kofi himself. So there we go. Thanks, guys.
Jack says
And,
it's Amelia, but it helps when your auntie is the top casting director. Yeah, it might not help you get the role of London Mayor. In that video, in the full version of it, I know we were nearly done with the thing, but he does say that he wants to end lockdown. You know what's not one of the powers of London Mayor?
look,
The ability to end lockdown.
none of the powers he wants are London Mayor. But that's because he's not gonna, that's what you can get when you're doing something that you know you're never going to have. Like Billy Piper? No, I don't know. Sorry, Billy.
Firing
I
on
don't
all
know
cylinders
yet.
today, aren't you?
And don't forget, we appreciate the Ko-fis. Thank you for that. But also, if you can, like the video that you're watching live on the only place you can watch it, our channel on YouTube.
So on to the next problem that I wish to solve. It might seem a lot like the last one, but April Fool's Day. I really don't like it. I'm bringing it up again because you have to spend all your time not only just not trusting stuff in newspapers, but on the internet. I just want to read a story that I can write jokes about and bring it, but you don't really know if it's true or not. And what happens is they offend people these days anyway, like Volkswagen. They tried to do an early April Fool's joke where they rebranded as Volkswagen because of electric cars, and they had to apologise. That's not as bad as their earlier April Fool's joke, which was their emission results. That really didn't go down well. But there are some stories that I read today and that I'm still not sure about. So the ones in the first section, turns out they weren't April Fools. These ones,
Okay.
I still don't know. Like this story, that according to a piece of research, only half of people know what the main symptoms of COVID are.
Okay.
How could you not know by now? If you can't learn that, you can't learn anything. You've had over a year of being told the same thing again and again. If you've not managed to learn that, just get yourself out of the gene pool. You're an absolute cretin. You don't deserve breath. And do you know why I'm okay with insulting them? Because they're not going to send in an email of complaint because they wouldn't work out how to click send. We're safe from these people. And normally I'd complain about, oh, these people get the vote. There is no way they can face the right way in a polling booth. We're fine. But I'm shocked because we're coming up for the year anniversary of me having COVID. It's that time again. It's been a whole year since I caught the nasty COVID. And I've got the long COVID. Don't want to boast. It's not about the length of your COVID. It's about what you do with it. And I'll tell you what I would do. What I do with it is I pant when I walk upstairs. But I'm getting better. So I've had the COVID and I just can't believe that some people have managed to not learn about it. Like, do they realise why they've been indoors so much over the last year? What do you think has been happening? I didn't really go out much. It's really quiet out there. Yeah. Good God. And then the other piece of that research was saying that even for those who do know what the symptoms are, they wouldn't all get tested. Oh, I thought we were going on about COVID too much. But if only half of the population got the message, we should have been doing more on it. So look, what can you do? You want to go on holiday instead? Get away from these people. You can't. It's illegal to go on a holiday. £5,000 fine if you do it. And then this story comes out about why maybe you don't want to go to Spain anyway. I'm still not sure if it's real. That in Spain, they're arguing about the rules that say you have to wear your mask on the beach.
Okay.
So, could that be real? Because there's a picture on the story. There's them. Enjoying the beach. in their masks? Could that be real? I mean, I tried it, and the problem is your tan marks come out a bit weird. I mean, that is... Don't get me wrong. It's easier to show people where your tan lines are if they're on your face. Because in the old days, when you had to try and show people your white bits, it got me banned from Costa. But do you think that's a real story? That in Spain they're telling people to wear the masks on the beach?
I think so.
You're outdoors, you're on a beach. Only half the population even know where you breathe from.
But it's a European beach. Those masks might be the only thing they're wearing.
That's true. And there'll be a little hole in it so that they can smoke. They still smoke a lot on the continent. But, okay, don't go abroad because you don't even know if you've got to wear a flipping mask or not. It's crazy. What can you do instead? Finally, I found a problem that we can solve. Because of this news story, dust from the Sahara Desert is coming over. If you notice, our skies look a bit weird because of all the strange dust that's being blown over heading into the UK. And that is the first bit of good news I've got. Because when it lands on our car and looks terrible... It is the closest thing we'll get to being on a foreign beach. Yes! So
nice.
By the time the car looks an absolute state, I'm going out there with a deck chair, breathing in some of that exotic seaside atmosphere. Finally, I found one that must be true, that we've got Sahara sand coming over here.
Yeah. The Sahara seaside.
Makes a lot
That's what it's known for.
Yeah.
The Sahara seaside.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you do go sit on your car with the sand, you should probably wear a mask.
Yeah. Guess you have to. Mark says, considering that 52% of voters didn't know the main symptoms of Brexit, hashtag satire. Yeah. Oh, that's the other. It was going to be one of the stories I included today of all the people being kicked out of Spain because they're British citizens and they're like, well, I voted Brexit, but I didn't expect this. Well, should have Googled it then.
Yeah. I mean, crime will go up when those people come back from Tenerife. Jesus. Have you been to Tenerife?
I've never been to Tenerife. They're not criminals, are they? Oh, do you mean?
Oh, yes.
Do you mean like the ones who went over there because of extradition issues?
Yeah, like all of them.
Great train robbery types.
All of the Brits that I met in Tenerife were a little bit like, oh, you can pay cash for that. No, I'll get you in. Don't worry.
Oh,
about
no,
it.
they're just people from Essex. Oh, I can see from your point of view they may sound like criminals, but they're just people I work with.
No. But they're the people who aren't even allowed in Essex.
I don't know. The people in Romford, not technically Essex. When I'm back on Time FM, give me a couple of weeks, I'll be back on Time FM doing drive time for a while, and that's exactly my kind of criminal audience.
Where is that? Romford?
Romford. It's in the London borough of Havering.
Oh, all right. It's not even Kent?
But no, wrong side of the river. I ain't going that far. That far south this time of night.
It's all the same. They're all the same.
Mark says, with Steve's mask lime image, his head resembles an antibiotic. What?
A maskini, says Chris.
Look at that. Didn't realise we didn't have the background.
Maskini.
Anyway.
That's nice. I like maskini. Maybe that's what we should start selling.
Yeah. Or a Kinder Egg. What? Stop being so harsh about my face.
It is a weird coloring. No one is that color pink.
If that's the colour
You are northern though, so
that is the colour I go. I'm ginger.
burn.
Do you know what? So we both end up doing some talk radio stuff every so often, and I did it yesterday. And the first question I was asked was because it was sunny weather, and Julia said, because we're in Vision these days, so I was on the webcam thing, and she just said, "So seeing as you're a bit ginger, do you stay out the sun?" I don't recall from it like a vampire. I'm not. I'm just slightly ginger.
Did you hold up the diversity report and be like, hello? Notice it's blank because this is a copy of the one the Tories originally wrote.
Oh, yeah.
They whitewashed it. Shouldn't be covering on the Churchill, be covering his nose as well. The face covering on the Churchill should be covering his nose. Yeah, exactly. That's what they would do. Muslim.
And Victoria says, do the 50% think that everyone is randomly interested in their temperature and cough? I mean, for those people who don't know what the symptoms are, firstly, how weird must it be for them to have a week of not being able to smell something? That had never happened to me in my life before I got a touch of the vid, the old Rona.
Yep.
I'll tell you what I think
You
the real
enjoyed
problem
that
is.
part of it, didn't you?
Well, I'll tell you what annoyed me about having a week of no sense of smell. We weren't allowed on public transport. And that just seemed like a wasted opportunity. Because to be able to travel on the tube and not smell people, that would have been luxury.
Yeah. Steve's one of those people who will be wearing a mask forever. Chris has asked if your gingerness is from your Welsh roots.
No, they're from my Scottish roots. I am basically, other than the Irish constituent, I've got the British Isles going through me, but not the UK. Got a touch of everything.
Going through you, huh?
Like a dose of salts.
Let's see. Mark says the next time someone insults your gingerness, threaten to set Ron Weasley on them.
Harry Potter reference. We've not done a Star Trek one in a few weeks, so look, we're growing. We're improving.
You can't pivot away from Harry Potter into Star Trek just because you're out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, it's a kid's book. Whereas Star Trek, proper science.
No. Harry Potter is not a kid's book. It is an incredible set of novels that is a true life story of the world of magic and all that live within it.
Star Trek, actually, they bother to have Heisenberg dampeners when they go faster than the speed of light. They bother to research about the Heisenberg uncertainty principle and correct for it.
Voldemort doesn't need any Heisenberg PDB.
Okay.
Whatever it's
Good
called.
Point. Well made. Right. Tracy says, living in Romford. Here we go. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
I'll be back soon. Give me a couple of weeks and I've got some more cover coming up there. Tracy says, living in Romford, I'm really not surprised that so many don't know the main symptom of COVID. They can't use indicators at Gallows Corner, let alone anything else. Why can't people drive around that flipping roundabout?
It's called Gallows Corner. I wouldn't want, you don't want to linger there.
No, that's true. Yeah. I mean, and also it's a thing that's got a flyover, so you literally can be hanged from it these days. And the flyover at Gallows Corner was a temporary structure that they put up just during some roadworks there, like in the 1960s, and it's been up there ever since. So it is the most rickety flyover you've ever seen. Literally a death trap, but it doesn't help that no one flipping indicates. This is very niche broadcasting.
Maybe that's what we need. I've been watching the YouTube tutorials. That's what you got to do. You got to find your niche, or they're American, so they say niche. But he got canceled from BBC as well. So.
All right.
Oh dear. Right.
There are no. Mark says there are no gingers in Star Trek because they couldn't fly that near to stars in case they burned. Stop it now. But you're right. Who are the gingers in Star Trek? My people.
Yep. Those were the ones. But they were, the red shirted ones were always the one that got killed. So who would want to be a ginger on Star Trek?
No, but I'd never noticed that before.
What's the red shirt?
No, I know that, but but there are no ginger people on Star Trek.
There must have been.
Well, the comment section is ready to go for it. Some of the tribbles were ginger, says Mark. They're not people. No offense to any tribbles watching, but no. Right, on to the next problem. You can, if you're enjoying the show, chuck some money in the Ko-fi. Mr. Eric McElroy, take it away.
Yep. This is a problem we've all probably been feeling a little bit over lockdown, or at least you should be feeling a little bit, and that's feeling guilt over Amazon and ordering things over Amazon and getting everything we feel over Amazon because it's just been so handy, especially in lockdown when a lot of shops were shut. You just need what you need, you get it, and everything else. But then, of course, this headline was in the news this week. Amazon denies stories of workers peeing in bottles. And they've apparently received some evidence in return. I don't know how they received that evidence. That was not covered in the story. But basically, the drivers and the staff are suffering at Amazon, Steve. I mean, do you use Amazon to order things?
I mean, not so much. One of the first times I did was for some of the stuff for this show.
Yeah. But I mean, typically, you also try and order stuff from dodgy websites. Anyway, like, that lush Amazon. Oh, look at you. You're doing well over there.
If you want the difference between his half the screen and mine is that his half the screen, proper technology from companies you've heard from. This half the screen is being run off stuff from a few websites that just, it takes 3 months to be shipped from China. None of the voltages are right, and yet kind of works. So
it's not even a Huawei. It's not even that level of like, it's just fresh out of the Chinese spine rings. Yeah. But I mean, I need things. I got kids. I can't leave my house. After this, I'm not going to leave my house. So people will have to pee in a few bottles, whatever. Amazon denies the claim, and Amazon did send this tweet out where they clarified that it's not happening. They said, you don't really believe peeing in bottles is a thing, do you? Now, the problem, Amazon, is when you can't do corporate snark. Let's just be honest. We can get away with snark because we have no level of credibility to start from. But you're a multinational company with one of the richest men in the world who is at the pinnacle of that. And we all know you underpay your workers, but we all want our stuff by tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So we're all willing to look the other way. So a few people could go piss in a bottle, whatever. I need that book. I need to know what happened at the end of Harry Potter, whatever it is. I mean, we all know. But so it's not good because, of course, as soon as they send out the snarky tweet, evidence starts to come out that they did know what was going on. Like this letter that came out, it's from a manager, and we've got, of course, it's hard to see that there, so we've got a little bit of a close-up in there where they said, this evening, this is from an Amazon manager, an associate discovered human feces in an Amazon bag that was returned to the station by a driver. This is the third occasion in the last 2 months.
Sounds
now comes
the
the snark.
third occasion.
When the bags have been returned to the station with poop inside. You've got an official Amazon document and you've used the word poop. Not once, but more. It's coming up again. Regardless, the assistants must not return the bags to station with poop inside. I mean, that is funny. It's probably not funny for the right reasons, but it is funny. Now, so they got the poop in there. And the thing is, remember, do you remember when the whole craze started, when the internet started, where you could send poop to people as a practical joke on April Fools? Were you aware of this?
No.
You can do this.
Why?
You must. Everyone knows that you can do this. It's a real thing. We actually have one of their adverts right here.
Or is it the next one?
That's the next.
Do you really hate someone and do you want to get back at them? Go ahead and give them a piece of shit. Maybe they'll get the clue. We'll make it happen. The person you choose will receive a package with a piece of shit just for $19.99.
See? They're not even hiding it. They've been doing it all along. And especially when you order your piece of shit from Amazon, at least you know it's freshly sourced. It may not be truly organic, but it's going to be fresh. But I don't know. Maybe, you know what? I will never, I don't think I'll, I mean, I do feel bad about it. And we have gotten a lot of things. And, the shops are opening and probably just need to start going to shops again and support the high street. So I think I would never accept probably an Amazon package again. I don't know. But oh, that's weird. Didn't expect anything this late at night.
Yeah, I ordered something from Amazon for you.
Really? Oh,
Fresh.
Thanks.
I mean, keeping it highbrow. Although on that very topic, we were talking about getting our specific niche, and Brit says, "Crappy pants button is your niche. Intelligent and highly satirical bum jokes." Cough cough. I mean, that's Look, we can't deny that things end up in bum jokes.
That's what bums are for. I mean, we did the eggs and bums. Was that your story or mine? I can't remember now. I think I covered that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like
put
one
15
of mine.
eggs up the buns. Doesn't sound like one of yours. No. Come on.
Mine are all Shex dolls and stuff like that.
Yeah. You don't need a Shex doll. Just put some boiled eggs up your bed.
I think if I did that, there would have been an interview with me looking like an egg. I would have taken a screenshot of an egg from Twitter and then put my eyes and mouth on it to animate it and done an interview with myself as the egg, reliving what it was like to be up there.
Would it have been a brown speckled egg?
Brown speckled egg. And at some point, because you could have seen my eyes and mouth in it, I would have gone like and spat out a bit of sweet corn. I'm just telling you what I would have done. But it wasn't my story because I don't think we have that video on the clip section. But I would have done it.
But now you talked about it.
Corn.
Maybe that's what the delivery was.
Well, here's some more up on this as well. On the topic of are there any gingers in Star Trek, Russell says the Lady Doctor, which I read that and thought, There's a gynecologist on Star Trek? They don't mention that. Or
The
obstetrician.
show has just gone down.
Whereas Mark says Beverly Crusher is a strawberry blonde. Is that close enough? Simon Pegg is a ginger,
Dancing.
right? I don't know, actually. I think he's got blonde.
Oh, well, that's new Star Trek. That doesn't count. And he is a ginger, though.
Yeah, someone says different universe because it was but Mark says it doesn't count because it's a timeline that branched off from it.
I was arguing with my son about the Star Treks last night because he was saying it's old, it's pointless. And I was like, no, it's not. It's the foundation of your father. I used to watch.
Gates McFadden, a.k.a. Beverly Crusher. Yep. So that's Beverly Crusher. Yeah, I think she's close enough to being a ginger. Yeah, she's the ginger. So I'm glad we do have representation of my ginger people on Star Trek.
Oh. Sorry, Tracy doesn't like the sweet corn reference. Sorry, Tracy. I'm afraid there's no refunds from Kofi.
They're not. But me, it's an egg that's been up someone's bottom. Sorry, sweet
That's the
corn.
danger of making your donation early in the show. Sorry about that.
Victoria says, surely there's only one book you need from Amazon. That's right. You can buy Stephen Allen's Lasted Another Year Despite a Pandemic. Available on Amazon now.
Is that the pile of shit you sent me?
Yeah. Took a while to digest, but...
It's got that pulpy flavor to it. Right. Let's see. What have we caught up on everything here? Let's see.
Don't
Chris,
return poop to distribution centre. Please arrange for next day delivery instead. Or don't you have to... You hate when you got to wait for the next day delivery. Oh, you can't sleep right.
Gotta hate that. Chris has said throw a turd just after throwing a sheep or poking someone. Ah, memories.
Were you playing Farmville? Is that what it is? Did you take a dump in your own farm?
There we go.
Yeah, I just see that picture now. Tracy saying I feel a bit queasy. Sorry about the sweet corn one.
Yeah.
It's not my fault it's not digestible, is it? However, Beverly Crusher did give us Wesley Crusher, so it's not all good news.
Oh, yeah. That's another... Oh, yeah. She was ginger. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what was Beverly Crusher was ginger.
I know, but I was forgetting. I was thinking... I forgot where you gone to next gen. So I got it now.
Right. You're right today. You're distracted. We're
I
only
was
on
thinking
one.
original series, and I was like, I don't remember who that is. And then,
Yeah.
I got it.
Which means Voyager. I can't believe we didn't. Surely by Voyager there should have been another ginger person.
I didn't really watch Voyager. I was busy.
Okay. Jack says a whole show without the phrase chocolate pocket. Yep, and a whole show where I've not even pulled this socket square out. I've left it in.
Socket square. You want to pull it out before we go? Woo!
It's a red
Fancy.
sock tonight.
Well, we are getting towards the end. Oh my goodness. I think it was a fun experiment being on the YouTube. We will look at the data and see if we're going to pop up anywhere else. If you didn't like watching on YouTube, you can message us and let us know if you like it somewhere. If you like the Trovo. I think we've killed off the Trovo.
Yeah, no Trovo tonight.
No Trovo.
It is great to see the other chat sections with nothing in them, though. It makes it so much easier.
If you haven't already, please do remember to like the show. And we've been putting lots of little clips of previous shows on the YouTube channel. We're going to be doing more of that. If you want to take little bite sizes of Steve and I, you can do that, as well as catch up on all the prior shows are there. And there you can watch them. You can watch you can go back to Series 1, where the tech was really shit.
Before I bought this stuff from China.
Before it took a while. Luckily, it didn't go through the Suez Canal, because you'd still be waiting. That would have been if that had happened at the beginning of lockdown. Oh boy.
Still would be on my laptop. It's the truth, rather than this majesty of things that require 110 volts.
Knock off. Yes, please tell people about the show, and we're back on Tuesday, aren't we?
Yeah, right. Till then, have a good one, and goodbye.
Bye.